What's up, Grizz Nation? It's time for your weekly update. Meghan, Triplett, Mike Wallace here with you to get you all caught up on what's going on with the Memphis Grizzlies. And I know it feels like it's a lot, Mike, at this point, because last week you and Kelsey talked about a successful road trip. All things were good then. But since then, if you look at what has happened with this Memphis Grizzlies, we're 1-3 and a recent loss against the New York Knicks where tensions were very high.
No question about it. I mean, you know, frustrations are boiling over. These guys are feeling like the season is bearing down on them at this point. And with 8 games left, that certainly is the case. You don't want to get to this stretch of the season not playing your best basketball, and the Grizzlies certainly have room to grow in this situation. But as you said, Meghan, this time a week ago, they were coming off of a 4-3 successful road trip. That was the longest road trip in franchise history in the Memphis era. Right now, they have to find their way as they get ready to go back out on the road again. And if you're Taylor Jenkins, coming off of that frustrating loss against the New York Knicks, going into tomorrow's game against the Detroit Pistons, what are you telling the team? What are you addressing first and foremost?
The couple things I'm addressing is where's that energy? Where is that fight that we have seen this Grizzlies team do? And also the rotation. And obviously that's a big question that everyone's trying to figure out. And for Coach Jenkins, you understand what's happening right now because you got a lot of guys back healthy. Jaren Jackson Jr. is back. We got to get him back healthy and getting those legs going. Grayson Allen just came back from his hand injury. And so you're seeing different rotations and different lineups that they're using, but that has affected the bench production.
Yes, no question about it. And that bench production was one of the best that we've had in the league over the last 2 seasons. And those are kind of the things that you have to tinker through to get back right with the little bit of time. It's 2 weeks left in the regular season.
How?
And there's still so much guesswork that's going in to how you're fitting in guys. Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to come off the bench. What is Taylor Jenkins going to do with that decision? He hinted that this could be something that goes for the rest of the season, or it can change as early as tomorrow night. We got to see what happens. But as many as we continue to ask those questions, the players are starting to wonder what those questions are too. So finding answers is going to be the key. Now, when they go on the road, 3-game road trip right now, these are 3 teams that they face on the road that record-wise they're better than. You have to take care of business. We know the Grizzlies have the second easiest schedule to finish out the season. But Meghan, there's nothing easy when you're fighting for a playoff spot and a postseason spot with this play-in tournament.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks talked about that and said every game matters and you can't overlook any game. Think about what's next. You got Minnesota, you got Detroit, and you got Toronto. 3 teams that you can beat, especially when you put them up stats by numbers. Defense has to be there. We got to get back to that defense fueling the offense. We saw that in the 4th quarter of the New York Knicks, but can we see it for a full 48 minutes?
And we have to see composure, right? There's no more excuse about this team being the youngest team in the league anymore. I mean, you're almost 70 games into the season. You have to grow up. You have to show that everything you've worked on for the first 4 months of the season comes into fruition as you hit this stretch run. So composure is going to be key on the road when things get tough. Can the Grizzlies pull it out? In Taylor, we trust. We've seen them do it all season long. These things are going to get worked out. So keep it locked on all of our Grizzlies coverage on grindcitymedia.com.